Let's do some practice revisiting determinants. So this is solving systems of equations using determinants. The first thing is we need to get everything set up into ax plus by equals c form. Oops. So we're going to strive to do that to this top equation. So I need my x values to occur on the left side. So I'm going to subtract 4x, and I'm going to subtract 1 from both sides. And the result will be, I'll have negative y minus 3x equals 1. So I took care of this. That went away. This became negative 3x. This went away. And this just became a 1. All right, now I still need it in ax plus by form, so I'm going to now again transition this into something else, which will be negative 3x minus y equals 1. All right, now this second equation is already set up, so I'm going to rewrite everything. So this is basically what I'm dealing with now. So I now know that I am going to take the determinant to find x and to find y. Now the determinant on the bottom is just going to be plucking off my coefficients. So a negative 3 and a negative 1 and a 5 and a 2. The denominator is nice and easy. And so I take my x coefficients, negative 3 and 5, and I place them in the same order as they appear in my equations. And now to solve that, I will take this diagonal, which is negative 6, and I will subtract this diagonal, which is a negative 5. So the resulting denominator is negative 6 plus 5, so my denominator is going to be a negative 1. Now I should just double check that over here and just make sure that I still get a negative 1, just to make sure I didn't make any errors with my calculations. Now, we are working on x. So my determinant in the top, because this is x, I am not going to use my x coefficient values. I will not use negative 3 and 5. Instead, I'm going to use my constants. So what that means is instead of placing negative 3 and 5 right here, I'm going to put 1 and 0. Now I will still pluck off my coefficients for the y values, and those will go there. Now over here, when I'm doing y, now I'm doing y, so instead of my y values of negative 1 and 2, those are not going to go up here. No. Now I'm going to put in my constants. Because I'm trying to figure out y, I do not use the y coefficients. Instead, I use my constants. My coefficients for x, though, will continue to be there as you would expect them to. So remember, when you're trying to find x, you do not use the x coefficients. Instead, you use your constants. When you're trying to find y, you do not use your y coefficients. Instead, you use the constants. Now I am ready to calculate the value of this determinant, so I will have 2 minus 0. So I will get 2 over a negative 1. So x is going to be negative 2. Now y is going to be 0 minus 5. So that's negative 5 over negative 1, so y is going to be 5. This is what I think my answer is. Before I determine that that is my final answer, and before I move on, I am going to check it. So let's make sure it checks in this equation. So negative 3 times negative 2 minus a 5. So I'd get 6 minus 5, and I get 1. That works. Negative 10 plus 2 times 5 is 10. That gives me 0. That works. So I am certain that this is my answer.